Let me ask you a question. Is there anything wrong with asking for help when, for example, you are at the gym and you want to bench press a lot and you know that you may not be able to do it? So just for the sake of your safety, you ask someone next to you, hey, can you please spot me? Is there something wrong with that? Well, definitely not. Is there something wrong with asking someone, hey, do you have a charger? When your phone is about to die, you forgot your charger and you know that you have to call your spouse soon. You know that if you don't do it, you will be in all types of trouble. Of course, there is nothing wrong with asking for help in that situation. But for some reason, there is a tremendous stigma when people ask for help with their mental health. And it's interesting how it works. But whenever people experience mental health issues, they just don't want to ask for help. They feel like it's something that's going to be frowned upon. They feel like they'll be judged. They feel like they are less of a human. But the reality is that it's nothing different than asking someone for help at a gym or getting a charger from someone, right? Or asking somebody for help when you are drowning. Sometimes you just have to ask and accept help. And I'm making this video because I want to give you some food for thought to shift your mindset from, hey, if I ask for help, or if I accept help, I'm weak, to asking and accepting help can be a sign of strength. And by the way, this is something that I used to struggle with a lot for many years. And even now I struggle with this area of my life, but at least I'm aware of it and I try to improve myself. So I'm making this video for you, but in a way I'm making this video as a reinforcement for myself as well. Let me give you a little example. So many years ago, I traveled to Poland to meet with one of my old friends. And I knew that that person was in a much worse financial situation, right? So we would go for dinner and I would insist, hey, don't worry, it's on me. I would pay for the dinner, right? Then the next day, we would go to the cafeteria and we would get some coffee. And that person said, no, this is on me this time. Let me buy you some coffee. And I would insist, no, listen, it's on me. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And at that time, I thought that I was doing the noble thing. I simply figured, well, mathematically, I have more money than that person. It makes sense for me to pay for everything. But over the years, I've been reflecting a lot because I had many of those types of situations. And I realized that, sometimes by not accepting help from others, even in little ways, you deprive them of the opportunity to have the feeling of contribution. Because just the way you want to help other people, well, other people want to help you. And it's very easy to fall into this trap where you always want to be the mentor, you always want to be the teacher, you always want to be the provider, the protector, you always want to be the person who helps everyone else, but you don't receive any help yourself. And again, it's almost like someone else not wanting to get help from you. You wouldn't want that, right? If you want to help somebody and they say, no, I don't need your help, you feel bad about it because you want to help. Well, the same way other people, especially people close to you, may want to help you. So in a sense, it's your duty, it's your responsibility to recognize those moments. And even though you may feel like you don't need that much help, let other people help you. And of course, it depends on various situations, on your circumstances, but I'm sure that you get my point. Now, going back to mental health issues. As I said at the beginning, I feel like a lot of people have the stigma that when you have a problem, when you suffer, when internally you don't feel as good as you should feel, right? Maybe you feel borderline depressed, maybe you have anxiety issues, maybe there's a tremendous problem happening in your life. We often feel like we are not allowed to ask for help or even accept help, right? Our friends would tell us, hey, I see that something is wrong with you. I see that, things are not working well for you. It's very easy for us to brush it off and just say, no, you got it all wrong. I'm doing just fine, right? I'm doing just fine. Now, look, there is the difference. There's a huge difference between thinking in a positive manner, cultivating a positive mindset, and engaging in toxic positivity, right? Toxic positivity happens when you don't even acknowledge negative things happening in your life. Rather than acknowledge problems and, rather than figuring out how you can solve those problems, you simply decide, I have no problems, everything is fine, there are no weeds in my garden, everything will be just fine. But that's toxic because you never get to the root of the problem, you can never solve the problem, right? So it is important to open yourself up and allow your friends, your family members, people who are close to you, to lend you that helping hand sometimes. It's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of strength. Again, I'm talking to you and to myself because for so many years, I really struggled with it. I had this misconception that if I accept, let alone ask for help, it shows that I'm weak, right? That I'm a weak individual. But over the years, again, I learned that it is a sign of strength because it's also a sign of self-respect. If you truly respect yourself, if you value yourself as a human, if you love yourself as a human, well, you want the best for yourself. And sometimes to get the best for yourself, you have to fix some deeply rooted issues. And the only way to fix them is to get some attitude, to kind of zoom out from your life, to get a fresh perspective. And often your friends, your family members, even a therapist, a coach, these are the people who can help you with that fresh perspective. So, you know, for example, if you feel like you need a therapist in your life, maybe you have to go to psychologist because you really feel like you struggle with one area of your life and you need professional help. Again, don't treat it as a sign of weakness. A lot of people think, no, I'll never have to go to a psychologist, I can handle myself. Well, there is no difference between a psychologist, a therapist, a coach, and a trainer at the gym. The only difference is that you are training your mind. But again, reframe it, and rather than looking at it from a position of I am weak, realize that if you ask for help, if you receive help, you are strong. This is one of those spontaneous videos that I didn't plan to make initially, but I've been thinking about this concept quite a lot. I've been writing about it in my journal, and I figured, you know what, I want to be authentic here, so I wanted to share with you what I think about this concept. I think, and I hope that this is some really good food for thought, and I try to embrace vulnerability and basically share with you that this is something that I still struggle with from time to time. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.